When we look at successful and unsuccessful learning communities, 9 times out of 10, the problem lies within the onboarding experience. Without a great onboarding experience, students probably don't come back to a learning community, let alone try it out. In other words, crash and burn. That's why it's so crucial to nail this. But don't worry, we've got you covered here. My name is Aaron, lead educator here at Thinkific, and in this chapter, I'm going to show you how to create a 5-star onboarding experience for your learning community. Now, before we get started, when I say onboarding experience, what I'm referring to are the ways that your students will learn about, feel motivated to try, and then get their first actions done in your community. The goal here is to make students aware of your community, stoked to jump in, and give them value as soon as they do. Basically, if you can get your student to visit and then come back to your community, you've done a really good job here. So let's focus on that first part. How do we get students to visit the community? First, think about all the touch points or moments a student will have when they sign up for your course and experience it for the first or second time. What moments in that experience could you leverage to invite students to the course? For example, one of the first few lessons in the welcome chapter could invite a student to your community, and you could include an invite in your course welcome email or subsequent emails to students who've just enrolled. One word of caution here though, there are many ways to shove an invite in front of a student's face, but the secret sauce to doing this successfully is in how you sell your community via these touch points. And I'm not talking about actually selling unless you actually want to upsell customers in the course to buy access to the community. What I mean is persuading, motivating, and convincing students why they should spend their time there. You know why your community is important already, but you have to say that to students for them to get it. And you have to say it often because students have a lot of stuff to think about when they start a course, and sometimes that invite to your community doesn't quite land. Luckily, these people aren't cold traffic. They shouldn't need a lot of convincing. So you can use the work that you did in the last chapter to speak to the benefits of joining your community, but don't go overboard. There's no need for a sales page here. 1 or 2 paragraphs or a succinct bullet point list works really well here. However, what you should spend more time on here is painting the picture of what the community ideally will feel like for students. Even if you're speaking to the very first student to consider joining your community, you should talk to the vision of the space versus the reality. Let's manifest that vision in a way. Make sure to speak to the tone and mindset students should have when visiting the community now and into the future. Ensure that students know exactly what the community is primarily for, what conversations they will focus on, and the behavior students should have while engaging there. This will set the right expectations for students so that you can avoid any misunderstandings about what should and shouldn't happen in the learning community. Ultimately, your invites to the community should leave the student feeling really clear about what the community is, why they should take a chance on it, and they should feel excited to click through into the community. What this looks like is up to you. It could be a short video lesson in the course welcome chapter talking about the community and how to use it, or it could just be a text lesson doing the same thing. Before moving on, I recommend that you start thinking about when and where you'll invite your students to the community and get started writing those invites. To help with this, we've got some swipe copy to get you started. Now in the next lesson, we'll talk about what should happen once a student actually gets into your community. We'll see you there.